Actually, we weren't even gonna go to Florida. Do you remember that? Originally,
Florida was a debate.
because it was so out the way from Waco. It was like a
Yeah.
2 week extra on already what was supposed to be originally planned.
Yeah, and you got to realize
month
any
trip.
travel that's over 10 hours for the tour, they usually allow a week off.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of like, do we want to make that trip? Do we fly and then drive from Illinois or Wisconsin down to Waco? Do we drive down there? There's so many what ifs, and we were kind of debating on it. But when it really comes down to it, and like what we've done in years prior, is like, how are we not at the first event?
Well, you mean that last year? Because for some reason in 2023, when Disc
Yeah.
Golf World literally wasn't
Nobody.
it wasn't a thing. We weren't even making videos like we do now. Like, you guys
Yeah.
wouldn't recognize us.
Yeah.
We were just convinced ourselves that we needed to be at LVC, and that was our kind of beginning.
I think it was just our mindset of like, hey, if we make content on this stuff, like, and we have an opportunity to be there, how do we not be there?
And that was the same mindset. And we were there. We drove. What Florida from our area is like 20. What was it, like 18
Yeah,
hours?
it was something stupid.
It was
like
super
that. Yeah,
far.
stupid.
And
like that.
I played around with a dude a couple months prior, and he said that he lived in Nashville, and that if I was ever in town, that we could crash at his place. So I think I just told Swiss I got a buddy who let us crash at his place in Nashville. So that's where we headed.
Yeah, man. This like was definitely one of our like Norman Bates possibilities of like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't know what to expect, right? Like, I've never met the guy. Jefferson at least met the guy. That made me feel better. And it was like one of those things that like, it's funny, on the first day of our trip, like, couldn't have kind of like, we ran into like a huge accident, and like we were in traffic locked forever. It was brutal. But also the first day of our trip, it was like the first time I legit lied to my wife about this, because my wife was like vehemently against staying at people's houses, staying at fans' houses, because like I'd always say like, hey, fans are recommending it, and like it's kind of difficult to explain that type of culture.
Yeah, this is just what disc golfers do.
Yeah, like, so it's kind of like difficult for people to understand that, especially my wife. But yeah, so I lied to my wife. I told my wife that a fan had a Airbnb and was letting us stay at the Airbnb while they were staying at home, is what I told my wife. And
It was all fine though. There's no reason.
we stayed at Aaron's house. Great dude, couldn't be
shout out
any
Aaron.
couldn't be any better. Awesome experience, awesome first time experience. Like, it could have been like weird, but
No, we rolled in like super late. I feel like super late at night.
yeah.
And then we played around the next morning.
Yeah,
And we
played in a league.
We were supposed to just, well, weren't we supposed to just leave the first day?
That was the thought process.
And then we got convinced
That
to
was
stay.
our thought process.
Yeah.
Then we got roped into staying.
I remember having a conversation with Swiss too, because we kind of were on a strict schedule. We were going to our uncle's great uncle. I don't know how you want to call it. I'm just gonna refer to my uncle.
Yeah, it's my uncle.
Yeah, I don't really care.
I don't know your reference
yeah.
to that, or the legality of it.
But we were gonna go there the next day, kind of loose plans, and then, Aaron just was like, "We need to play this course, yada yada yada." What was happening? But we were staying an extra night. I remember having a conversation with Swiss where I was like, "Dude, I can't say no. Like, there's just no way I can say no. I'm gonna stay at his house. He really wants to play this course." So, we stayed an extra night in Nashville.
Hey, a tip to some fans: it is hard for us to say no.
I can't say no, dude. Never.
It is
I don't want to be
terribly
impolite.
Yeah, no, but yeah, Aaron was awesome,
yeah.
man. Fed us, stayed there, got some great disc golf courses.
Took down the league.
Like I said, at first, couldn't have been more accommodating and more easy.
And we didn't need to sleep in the minivan yet.
Yeah.
Like, extended.
Which is this is wild. This is the also weird thing with the tour is like with us staying at our uncle's, we were probably gonna go our first like week and a half not sleeping in a minivan, which is what we were kind of worried about just with the cold until we got south. You know what I mean? But yeah, so then after Tennessee, the plan was to go to my uncle's house, my recently divorced uncle. So it was like, I don't know why. Is that funny?
Totally, you don't need to say that. Like, that's
Man, no. You do need to say recently divorced uncle to lay out the picture of like this weird bachelor pad and like the weird stay that we had. I'm sorry.
If he's watching this,
He's not watching this.
Shout out for he's not a YouTuber. He only had 3 channels on his TV.
Yeah,
and he
bro.
watched
Like,
Jeopardy all day, dude.
No, there was more. We just never turned them. Like those were his favorites. Dude, it was literally like the Game Show Network, a news, and I forgot what the other one. Probably like some some shopping station. But you also had like, man, it was a bachelor pad. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like,
so yeah, we just
like it was just
we
weird
upgraded
food.
from the minivan. Well, Aaron's house, I slept on a couch.
Yeah,
you got a bed.
I did.
Now we got to 2 air mattresses on the floor.
2 air mattresses,
which is dope. You know, we take whatever we want. The chair was just so uncomfortable, which is odd because he took like 4 naps a day on that chair.
Bro.
I couldn't do it.
It's also kind of weird, like with Aaron, it was a little different. We had more time, right? When we're going to practice rounds and we're going to the course, we're gone all day. We leave usually before he woke up, and then we're coming back and we're immediately working. So it wasn't like feel bad in that respect, but like the stay couldn't have been better. And like
at the time too, the work was different. We had originally intended on doing daily recaps on individual channels while still having
thought about doing
Disc Golf World recap on Monday and This Week in Disc Golf always on Friday.
Yeah.
So we were putting out 2 videos a day for chess, and then we put a weekend wrap up.
That's wild.
It was insane. It was actually like ridiculous.
That's wild. So yeah, so here we are in the middle of, not middle, but like, man, in Florida, there's really not much but like older people and like a lot of space. So getting in, like, we got a couple of rounds in, but nothing too dramatic, nothing like really nothing impactful on that front. But yeah, it was kind of a weird experience staying with the uncle. My favorite uncle story, my Uncle David, was where he told me how he was going to have a threesome with 2 girls that were younger than me. And like I had to sit there and explain to him, like, these girls are younger than me. Your nephew. And you think you're going to pull 2 women at your age? He's like, yeah, for sure. And I'm like, Unc, like, don't go buying gift cards or fucking anything.
That was what he was telling me. Buying GameStop gift cards.
Yeah, like, man. I was like, don't buy any GameStop.
It was wild. And then it's like, dude, it's like the 13-year-old boys pranking you right now. It's like so obvious. They wanted like Roblox or something.
Yeah, it was kind of wild. But yeah.
Let us stay there though.
So yeah, he did let us stay there. Unbelievable time. It was a blast. He was still fun. But like, I remember he cooked 1 meal for us, and that's like, it was such a bachelor meal. I was like, I forget what it was. Yeah, it was like one of those like.
He had Pop-Tart little bites in the morning. We had like 4 of those every day because I wouldn't want to pay for concessions.
Yeah, but yeah, like the accommodations, though we were inside, like Jefferson said, still like the value of even sleeping on an air mattress on a floor in a house with a running bathroom, with all that. Huge deal. Like, you know what I mean? That's the most difficult part about, like, it's really not like the sleeping accommodations. Yeah, that gets like cramped, but like not having a possible 24-hour bathroom in like walking distance of where you're staying, shit like that.
You know, it's wild.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever told you this.
No, what's that? This
so
is great.
I got like preface for like the viewers at home. I have like weird stomach issues. It just happens. You live with it. One of those times at 3 a.m. or whatever it was early, super early. Stomach issues were happening. I went to the bathroom. That door was locked. Went to the.
Oh God! Was it the night that I had like bad stomach issues? What did we eat?
That might have been the day he cooked, dude. That might have been the day he cooked.
Oh man, it might have been. Man, there was one night where I was like bad. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. And then so that bathroom was basically occupied. I went to like go to the David's room. I went in and just saw him sleeping there, and I was like, I cannot, I can't cross him to go to his bathroom. So I just ran outside and I did my business. And I
fucking shat in his fucking yard, bro.
No, went to the neighbor's yard.
Okay, cool.
Like at least 3.
Good job. Good job on that. You shat in the neighbor's yard. Man, and you're worried about me saying my divorced uncle who's getting fucking catfished, and you're telling a story about shitting in his neighbor's yard.
It happens, dude. It happens. It's just so unfortunate. It's like usually it's so you suck it up because it's like, oh, I'm in a minivan. What am I gonna do now? It's like, damn it, dude. I was in a house.
Wow.
Yeah.
At 3 a.m, you
I don't know what it was. I just remember panicking because it wasn't like I like waited it out. Obviously, I didn't like
Yeah, you tried to
immediately
wait
go. I
it
was
out.
like,
I gotcha.
okay, and I was like, nah, man, like this ain't happening.
It's an emergency moment. It's
Yeah.
an emergency moment.
This would really be a shame if this podcast is the one that blew up.
Talking about your irritable bowel syndrome. Hey, that's the life on the roads, man. Like we're not.
I can't control it.
Yeah, we're gonna be.
Yeah.
You don't know what's gonna happen sometimes.
We just ran the numbers today as we're recording this. We hit 14,000 subscribers, which means that was when we were on tour. We gained like 3. So we basically went last tour from 10 to 14, and now we're jumping on with actual fans per se. Because at the off season we grew like 3,000 subscribers. A large point of like support of people over that the December time when we posted a video every single day, I would say.
Yeah, and I think like the weird thing about like as much as we kind of like alluded to in our last podcast is like, hey, this was more of a business trip. It was about funding, budgeting, and kind of the most like eye-opening thing is like the first day we were inundated with fans. Like, you know what I mean? Tons of fans were coming up saying they knew us, saying they loved us. Parents, family members of pros coming up to us,
taking
like,
pictures, signing
yeah,
autographs.
bro. It was just like, and don't get me wrong, we had a little bit of that like on our first tour in 2023, but it was like more towards the tail end, right? It wasn't at the initial start. Like pretty much, we were fortunate to get relatively recognized within like the first 3 or 4 stops, but man, like they hit the first stop right out of the gate. Was just kind of wild. Like it was just like it was just like holy. It was like one of those oh shit moments of like we are somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Like we are like all the talks of like, hey, we're gonna bring the community, we're gonna bring disc golf culture, and we're gonna kind of get this and like it's kind of one of those like, bro, people get it now.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
They're
like,
seeing the vision that we've
people
always
like
been saying.
understand and like, dude, like kids, like adults.
And again, when we went home,
yeah,
nobody in our life really knows what we
True.
do. Even like the disc golf, like we never talked about it. So we went all this off season, really grinding more than we were on tour in terms of videos being put out. And then all of a sudden, it's like people are coming up to us. It's like you're kind of somebody, and we're like, nah, bro.
Yeah.
Like, we're just enjoying the disc golf.
And that was wild.
It's just weird.
Getting asked for autographs, not knowing how to sign them.